excited about many of the sessions. I liked, I love the Riot session. They talked about the Riot game session today. If you didn't watch that, that was a great one. But the big announcement today I was most excited about was the CX Cloud. The not only being able to see, some of your information about your trouble tickets and other customer service related, network related things in this platform. They also were integrating the other Cisco platforms and making it a launching board to get into those. So now you have one single place to go to get to your Meraki dashboard and into Intersight and launch into Umbrella. So I thought it was just nice that everything is aggregated there. You get a lot of information about your network and the status, and then you can launch into your other applications from there. And then I'll introduce or pass it off to Justin. Why don't you go ahead and take it from here, Justin?
Hey, real quick, Paul. I'm just going to kind of recap what I said because the live stream didn't come up quite on time. So I'm just going to just throw back to what I said to the viewers, just hear what they might have missed. But first off, Cisco Plus, as I said before, but Cisco Plus, big announcement, just Cisco's commitment to start to transition our portfolio to as a service offering or network as a service. So giving people the opportunity to consume our products as they wish. And then the second big one that I wanted to highlight, which I'm pretty excited about, is our cool integrations that we're doing with our acquisition of Thousand Eyes. So integrating the Thousand Eyes client directly on the Cat 9K and a future shipping of code, which will be out shortly. It'll actually be running on your Catalyst 9K switches. And then also integrating Thousand Eyes directly into AppD so you could correlate network performance to application performance and visually be able to see where the problem is. So I'll flip it back over to Justin now so he can tell you what he thought was pretty cool today for the announcements.
Yeah, the one thing that I got really excited about was actually the passwordless option with Duo. The idea here is that we don't have to keep track of passwords anymore. Anything that's federated within Duo can actually just authenticate right from your biometric device on your Apple MacBook or even with Microsoft services. So, I mean, this is kind of a game changer for everybody. And with Duo, the idea of going passwordless is dauntless for most organizations. But with Duo, we can make it happen pretty seamlessly right off the bat. So that's something that I'm looking forward to. Looks like we could have that coming out for customer trials as early as early summer, June to July. So looking forward to that one. And I'll hand it off to Charles, our security guru, to take us from there. Like, tell us all the great, cool stuff that we announced today and just things in general from Cisco.
Hey, Charles, before you take it off, also,
Sure.
looks like we have about 25 people on the live stream right now, so we're super excited to have you guys here. We are looking for great questions. The great questions could win you some cool Cisco swag. No one's posted a question yet, so good chances right now if anyone can throw some questions up there. So, Charles, I wanted to get that out before I kick it back over to you. Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, no problem. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Justin. So, me being on the security side, similar to Justin, passwordless is going to be huge for us, and I think that was an awesome announcement. Just not having to deal with different factors, different things on you, and having the ability to use something like biometrics. That's the future, right? And it's absolutely critical. The other things that I thought was really cool from an announcement standpoint is around our SASE offerings. We've heavily talked about what SASE looks like from Cisco's architecture standpoint. There are a lot of different areas on the security side, whether it be firewall, secure web gateway, CASB, DNS security, road access, and then also from the networking side of things, mainly SD-WAN being a huge part of this. And one of the announcements that I was really excited about is having all of this together in a bundle and be available as a single subscription service for our customers. We understand that SASE is obviously not a black box, but at the same time, having a single simplified subscription is going to be so key for a lot of our customers. And I think that was one of the huge announcements that's going to benefit, especially as you move into this SASE, but also zero trust journey. And so zero trust is also heavily a part of this SASE architecture. So I think that was critical for me. And then just to kind of sprinkle in a few other things related to SASE as well as Zero Trust, especially for tomorrow. There are some really cool sessions happening in the Secure Enterprise channel. But I think just to kind of give you a little bit of a sprinkling or a tidbit here, VPN as a service is also going to be coming. Remote browser isolation. Those things are going to be really, really cool to round out a lot of that SASE story. So really look forward to tomorrow as well. And then Alex.
Hey, thank you, Charles. Hello, team. This is Alex, the Meraki technical specialist. What I loved this morning, first, I was very proud to hear our leaders sharing how Cisco really helps with the national vaccine rollout, leveraging some of our healthcare customers are leveraging our sensors, humidity, temperature, and cameras to secure the transport and the access to those vaccines. I don't know if you've seen the demo, but we were actually be able to have cameras not bigger than these ones detecting a human being opening a door on a fridge and receiving alerts in real time with an integration with WebEx, etc. So being part of that, I felt kind of really proud to see that this innovation is really bringing more and more use case for our customers. And the second one, Charles, I 100% agree with you. And this is something that we've been working together as a company, Cisco, traditional Cisco, and Cisco Meraki, is the SASE story. And I personally hate that name. Okay, SASE. Do you remember a year ago, no one knew how to pronounce SASE? Was it SAS, SASE, SASE? But this is, despite the fact that I don't like the name, this is truly a big architectural shift. This is the biggest disruption we had in the networking and security pieces at the edge for over the past decade. So we can dig in later on the SASE and how this integrates together, but having this single cloud platform that enforces security and network at the edge, this is huge. This is huge.
Yeah, Alex, I watched the demo of how easy it is to set up the connector in the Meraki dashboard. I mean, that's phenomenal work. I mean, just to be able to do that in a few clicks securely, you know, that's powerful. I do agree with you. Definitely something customers are asking for.
Mind-blowing. Being able to integrate the Meraki SD-WAN fabric in just a couple of clicks from the dashboard to the umbrella SIG. I mean, it was what, Matt? 5 clicks?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, you had a primary data center, a secondary data center, the auto VPN tunnels, build the tunnels immediately back to the SIG. It was very, very impressive. And the idea is that this will work with Viptela, with Meraki. The SIG will become this orchestrator and single point of security and network enforcement. It's
yeah,
huge.
I think it's a great just great for customers that have a lot of large amount of branch offices, but big corporate offices as well, and you can apply consistent policy across both Meraki and Viptela is pretty phenomenal.
And also consume this architecture, this network and security service as pay as you go or pay as you grow, as you want to call it, because that's literally having a single pane of glass where you can manage that security and just pay for what you use. It's extremely huge. And I think we can touch base on something on top of it, which is all the analytics part, right, Matt?
Yeah, I actually missed the session you're talking about with the camera and the recognizing someone opening a door. I'd be curious. I mean, one thing I do know about our MV solution, our camera solution, is it's more of just an all-around sensor that we've just tapping into the capabilities, right? I think that's the power of the cloud and being cloud managed and being able to utilize different services like machine learning or analytics to identify objects and emotions and behaviors and other things in the video, which is it's going to be exciting to see what customers actually do to change their business with that sort of technology. I have some customers that have heavily adopted the MV, and it's gonna seeing stuff like that is very encouraging to bring that story to them. It's always nice to bring new stuff to people. It gets people fired up, like you were dancing today after you saw the Meraki session. So
You mean dancing, singing? It was very impressive, and having all these pieces tied together and know exactly where the applications are flowing, have the end-to-end visibility from an application perspective. I think that's really the end goal here. It's always great when everything works well, but when things arise, it's good to understand where the problems are, what is the root cause, how to resolve it as fast as possible, and that SASE architecture will give us that. I mean, I feel that
there was some interesting sort of seeding for what's next, right? There's a new SASE offer that is coming up. I'm super excited to see what that looks like.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I have to say, Alex, I was really impressed. I think it was during the keynote where they showed that with the vaccinations, with the camera. Noticed that the guy was the authorized person taking out the vaccines, but then they also were using the temperature sensors to make sure everything was kept at the correct temperatures. And it was a really great real world example of how the technology is really helping to solve prominent problems in the world today.
Absolutely, Paul. 100% agree. And although we already had this, let's say, human detection capabilities in our cameras, now we have sensors, humidity sensors. We have sensors when you open or close doors. And it's funny to see all these little pieces of innovation that are coming together to resolve more and more use case, end-to-end use case. That was really, really, really cool today.
Justin, you brought up passwordless earlier. Oh my God, I cannot wait to go passwordless.
That'll be awesome.
When did you say it was coming out?
So officially it's July. So that's what the official announcement is, but we might be able to do early field trials before that.
Justin, so this security passwordless will use, I'm assuming, biometric information?
Absolutely, yeah. So
which one?
So right now, like what we can know is that like your Apple MacBook device can definitely use the biometrics. Even Microsoft, so you can use Microsoft integration. Also mobile device. So anything that you've already got, we can use biometrics on.
Yeah, and
interesting.
To comment on that point, it's when the industry really started talking about passwordless about 2-3 years ago. It was interesting because there was kind of from my perspective, a split path of what passwordless actually means. And a lot of people thought, especially on the customer side, if I obfuscate the password, if I just hide it, right, that's passwordless. Just so that my user is not able to see it. It's almost like a remember me function. And so from our standpoint, that's not enough. That's not really true passwordless authentication. And so the way that especially our organization Duo specifically in terms of building that platform, they really looked at how to leverage biometrics on these different devices. Windows Hello is heavily used with our customers, and it's kind of that next evolution of the true biometric factor. And then bringing in Touch ID, Face ID, anything that's on the Mac or your actual mobile device. And then using that, the encryption, the keys, all within the specific device, that's true passwordless in our definition of it, right? And so that's where I think it's going to be really huge for our customers. It's just going to be so much easier. That's the bottom line too. It's just going to be a lot easier. But from a security standpoint, it's going to be the true sense of the word passwordless, not the hiding or obfuscation of passwords.
So you mean I'm never going to forget my password again, right, Charles? That's the whole idea?
Absolutely. You better not forget your thumb.
Yeah, don't lose your phone. Yeah, I really liked when they introduced it this morning, how they talked about, it goes by your identity. They know who you are. They know your device, but more than that, they knew where you were. So like if you were from your home network, you got all access that, they weren't really doing anything. But if you access from like a Starbucks or some other location, they would allow you, but they were going to observe what you were doing. So if you were accessing the common applications and sites that you're going to, that's, all okay, you can keep going. But the minute you did something that was out of the norm, that's when the hammer came down and they started to block you. I thought that was really cool for a security aspect of the passwordless.
Yeah, we actually had a question on our forum here on YouTube. It says, are YubiKeys going away? And if so, does that mean that USB keys and sticks are the future? So Charles, you want to take that one?
Yeah, so YubiKeys won't necessarily go away. There's always going to be a use case for it, and there's always going to be an element of familiarity to them. It's going to be a little bit easier to use some of that in, let's say, for example, clean desk scenarios. I personally have a lot of customers that still use YubiKeys, different fobs, key fobs, especially in regulated or some sort of compliancy. That's still going to be there. But again, what we're trying to do with passwordless is give another element in terms of a factor and being able to really simplify that user experience. Duo in itself is really easy. Just using a push or just using a passcode is really simple in itself. But then now leveraging something that's more unique, as well as really kind of like you said, Justin, I don't know if a lot of people don't remember their passwords. AD passwords always have to be reset or something like that. It's always kind of a hassle in that sense. But really doing it correctly through biometrics, that's going to be key. But no,
and I recognize that question was from Kyle. So Kyle, thanks for joining. Sorry, I didn't interrupt you. Just got excited when I said it's actually his. It's actually a Cisco ID because I recognized it. So welcome, Kyle.
Does that mean that I cannot put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 as password anymore?
Oh, I hope you're not doing that.
Oh no.
Oh man!
Awesome.
It also means that my password never expires either, so I don't have to worry about changing it every 90 days, right?
Yeah, we had a question too early on about integrations between ICE, Meraki, and the Cat9K. So obviously the Cat9K and ICE integrate, but Alex, maybe if you could do a quick minute or less on just Meraki integration with ICE and what that looks like today.
Yeah, absolutely. So ICE is a NAC appliance. It's an authentication point for your network to authenticate users connecting either to wired or wireless. And ICE works with a very famous standard called the Radius, and any Meraki device, regardless if it's an access point or a switch, supports Radius. So you can authenticate your wireless and wired users with Meraki using your ICE policies. In addition, ICE, as you know, also provides, for example, captive portal services. So we can also redirect your users, your guests' users, for example, into a captive portal experience hosted with Cisco ICE. So it's the same family, right? Our switches and access point integrate perfectly well with ICE as well. Yeah, for authentication, accounting, maybe you want to do change of authorization, COA. All this is supported with ICE and Meraki switches and access points.
Awesome. Thanks, Alf.
Oh, you got to share something with our audience today about how they can win some prizes?
Definitely. Matt, go ahead and post that link. So we've put together a Kahoot quiz for everyone today, kind of covering some of the topics that were covered today during Cisco Live Day 1. So the quiz will be open for about 24 hours, and it should be a fun little quiz. And do your best. We definitely have some prizes available for this contest as well. But please put your username in there so that we can identify who you are afterwards, and we'll reach out. We just need to be able to identify who the winner is at the end of the quiz, and then one of us will be reaching out to let you know you won. So enjoy the quiz.
Awesome. And Matt, earlier on, you had mentioned Cisco Plus, and I'll be honest, it went real fast for me. It went by in a flash. So can you tell us what exactly is Cisco Plus and why should our customers care?
Yeah, so we announced today Cisco Plus, which is a commitment from Cisco to transition most of our portfolio to as a service offering, so ability to consume it as a service, so network as a service. I know that the SASE packaging is one of the first, along with the data center offerings, but it's our commitment to just give our customers flexibility to consume our products the way that they wish to consume them. And, you know, in transition to some more of that cloud consumption model, it's pretty fascinating to think of traditionally for a hardware-based company, as though we have many SaaS offerings now that you can see, but really to start that transition is a really, and I think that the industry and our customers are asking for it as well. So giving them the flexibility to consume it how they need to consume it. There's a lot there. There's a press release. I'll actually post the press release here in this chat, the link to it, so that everyone can read about it more, so they better understand it.
Awesome. And then Charles and Alex, do you guys want to seed anything for the audience for day 2?
Yeah, for sure. As we talked, as I kind of early on mentioned, there's going to be a lot of new features, functionality that we're expanding on in the Umbrella platform that really rounds out a lot of the SASE story. So, you know, things that come to mind is like VPN as a service, remote browser isolation. Those things are going to start being added to Umbrella, as well as improvements to the existing infrastructure and the existing platform. So more sessions to come on that, as well as SecureX. SecureX, a lot of orchestration capabilities to automate a lot of, whether it be third party or within the Cisco architecture. That's going to be key for tomorrow as well.
Awesome. Alex?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, so I think we're going to have another session with SASE tomorrow, and how basically the networking is being disrupted now with COVID. People are working from home, so we're going to have sessions on how this architectural shift is happening in terms of usage, and how you can automate and operate your networks better and faster. You know, the Meraki way, simply, efficiently. That's our business.
Sweet. I'm certainly looking forward to tomorrow, guys. So let's see. I think we covered a couple of topics today. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to go over that we didn't quite hit?
There was one thing I wanted to add in. See, Ed Vanderpool actually asked a question about a location for, we list all of our SASE. I think what he means is SASE products. But I don't know, Charles, Alex, you guys want to break that down a little bit? Like, SASE is not really a product. So why don't we start there?
Do you want me to explain a little bit what SASE is? Secure Access Service Edge. Oh my God, what a name. Okay, let me.
You should have started there.
Okay. So this is really a disruption, and I'm going to explain it. I'm going to share my screen. I think it's the best way to explain the Cisco SASE architecture from Cisco and high-level design. Do you see my screen? It should be blue.
We do.
Okay, awesome. So the idea is that no matter, so do you agree now everything is in the cloud, right? Okay. We're shifting more to cloud applications. And by cloud, we need to remind that it can be private cloud, public cloud, hybrid cloud. But the important thing is today we have customers have distributed networks. We have, and no matter where you are, if you're a teleworker, if you're a campus, if you're a branch, no matter if you're using Meraki or Viptela, the idea is that we need to send back all this traffic to the SaaS applications. But to make this happen, there is something in between your edge, your network, your remote users, and those SaaS applications. There is another cloud. And who better than Bob Ross himself to draw us a happy cloud, right? So what is this cloud? Matt, Kuhu, Charles, what is this cloud?
Platform.
Which is yes, but what is it at Cisco? What is
Umbrella.
that pillar that it's
Umbrella.
exactly the umbrella SIG is this single platform where you're going to have where you will be able to enforce your consistent security, networking, and assurance services. So basically all your devices at the edge will interconnect to the SIG, And from the SIG, once you have filter and apply your security rules, then you can route the traffic to the SaaS applications. And actually, this SIG, this umbrella SIG, is a distributed network of points of presence. So basically, we have many data centers around the world with peering agreements to be closer as soon as possible, as close as possible, to those SaaS applications. So Office 365, Azure, AWS, or potentially private data centers for customers. So you're not going back necessarily into the wild after the SIG. The SIG helps you just throttle the traffic, secure it, and have a consistent policy. So imagine as an administrator, you can see all the applications flowing, who has access to what, you have analytics. So it's the God Almighty platform at the edge for your network and security services. You know, it's more than a happy cloud, right? I hope this clarifies the architecture. What do you think? And any thoughts?
I thought that was a great explanation. Thanks, Alex, and definitely hoping that everyone has a lot of happy clouds out there.
And that's pretty huge. It's huge because no matter which device you're going to use, Viptela, Meraki, if you're a teleworker, all these things will work together and you will be able to subscribe to those services on the go. So you reduce your CapEx expense and you only pay for what you use. I think it's huge. This is really the next 5-10 years is about this. So I'm happy that we already have some offering with it, and we're going to add more and more services so customers can leverage that. And
Ed says thanks. That helps, Alex.
oh, okay. Bob Ross always helps, always. Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, I'll give one last plug. If you guys see on our stream, it says via Cisco WebEx. So just a plug for tomorrow. We're going to be talking about collab and all the great things we're doing on the WebEx platform. But we are using the WebEx to stream to YouTube currently. So pretty cool thing that we'll highlight some more tomorrow. But wanted to give that to you guys that we're leveraging Cisco to actually power this as well now. So WebEx is getting a lot of new features, and streaming to YouTube is pretty cool that we can do as well for these events. So definitely subscribe to our channel. We're going to be doing more of these and more content, more videos. We only scratched the surface of all the stuff today, so we're going to get our arms around it, record some videos, short videos, demos, things like that, and we'll make sure to post them here. So definitely subscribe so you guys can stay up to date, because there's definitely a lot to consume. It's pretty exciting when you get all this new stuff to talk to our customers about. It's definitely got me excited for sure. I appreciate everyone's time.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone who joined today. Thank you to the SE panel for the awesome discussion. So everyone, do check out the quiz. As you know, there's some prizes to be won. And don't forget to tune into Cisco Live tomorrow, as well as for an after hours debrief with us tomorrow, same time, same place. Thank you, and have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Everyone.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Thank you, audience. Thank you.
Bye.